welcome to Greenpoint's Brightest Lights. My name's Carl, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about XLights as I'm thinking about next year's show. So, let me show you a little bit of what I did this year. This past year, I had a very simple show. I built a mega tree this year. I had this star and this star I custom made last year, and then this year I added a tree for 2023, and I did some very, very basic sequencing and designs. Um, Nothing major. It was my first year doing it. I went online. I watched some tutorials on how to build things. I um, uploaded and downloaded different sequences and files. I just played around to see like what the sequences look like, how did other people's sequences look, and what I needed to do to get that into alignment. So like this was something very simple that I put together with a tutorial with some help, and then I tweaked it to my likings. So this here just did a nice red, white, and blue, very patriotic, um, you know, very patriotic look, which looks good and all. There, that's a little bit better. Um, so we did that, and that was fun and games, and I had about 30 minutes worth of sequences and stuff in here that I made and worked on, and it was really, really cool. And I said, I want to take this farther. I said, I don't quite know if I'm going to end up buying sequences and mapping them, which I played around with a little bit, or if I wanted to, or how I wanted to do it. So, um, basically, that was my first year. Very simple. For controllers, I had a Falcon 16, the V5. That was the newest controller I could find on the market, so that's why I ran my Mega Tree on. The first two props I made, the Garage Star and the Barn Star, they're actually ran off of ESP32s running WLED. Very basic, very simple. I put Wi-Fi up to cover the whole area, and I was simply running it with a Raspberry Pi running FPP, sending out the signal over my network to everything. For next year, I'm going to make some changes to how I do it. Um, I want to definitely separate the networks from my actual internet traffic and my lights, but I still want to have them connected at the same point so it's easy to access from any computer or my phone or anything like that, just being on the simple home Wi-Fi. So I'll have to learn some like port forwarding stuff, but that's another day. So I'm pretty new to this program. I don't know what all these sequences do. I played around with a bunch of them. I played with different things, your layer blending, your layer settings, um, stuff up in here, just so that I have a little bit of a idea where to start. Well, last year came and went, and I said, well, what am I going to do for next year? So, and where do I want to take it? Now, the way my property is set up is I have two facings of buildings I want to do, but they're at a 90-degree angle. They're perpendicular to each other. So it's not one flat look. Like when you look on here, you can tell that's a flat 2D. It's just literally stuck there. I can move them around. I can't really do scaling too well, stuff like that. So I said, well, what's up with this 3D? What's up with the 3D layouts? It seems like something I want to do because my yard and everything like that, I just think it would be the best possible way to do it, that I would like it. So I started 2024 file before Christmas was even over. And I'll show you what I came up with, and we will eventually go where it all came from. So, now yes, this is still in 2D, but I have all different things I wanted to do. I went online and found different snowflakes that I'm going to order throughout the year, different props, you know. I was able to, through this process, get everything accurately sized. That is how tall the tree will look in aspect to the snowflake, so forth and so on. And I was only able to do that by going to 3D. So let me go into 3D. So as you can see here, things are a little bit more 3D. I can rotate around. That's looking from straight down. You see these are all a bunch of piece stakes. These are snowflakes. You know, it's 3D. But now you ask, well, how did I get to that? Well, that's a fun game. And it all started with photos. So let's look here. I don't know if any of these here quite will work. But anyway, it all started with photos. And then it started with building objects, you know, using a program to build a 3D block, so to speak, that matches the same shape of your buildings. And in that, I was able to add all that, which I'm not going to show you now. That's going to be for a future video. But I was able to add my house into here to be able to go, hey, this is my garage right here. And my house is actually right here. This star, I believe I have positioned on the house. So I have a house this way, a garage this way, and then over here, there's actually a tree line, a big arborvitae that go down because my driveway comes up. Now on top of that, all this is on a hill. So you have a walk up here, and this probably actually comes down to here till it hits the road. So I haven't ventured into doing terrains and, you know, doing that part of it. So we're going to learn that part together. But in this series of videos I'm going to make in the next couple videos, we're going to go through the steps on how I got to where I am, each and every step, and how I was able to do it the most simple way I felt, and in the process of doing which, it's something that I didn't find online per se how to do. I just started messing around with different programs that I already use in 3D printing. Um, but anyway, I just want to show you that, give you a sneak peek. Um, if I don't know if I even made up any sequences for this. Yeah, I did. Let's see if it'll load. Um, Merry Christmas! A second. Oh, let me see here. I actually want to turn that off because I don't want to get anything copyrighted. You know what I mean? So we're rendering a 3.5 minute long thing. And this is quick throwing something in that I actually used in last year's show that I kind of messed around with and imported through this import effects feature and imported everything in. But I don't want to get any copyright stuff, so we're just going to shut that off instantly. So let's go here. Let's make this some bigger for you, okay? Right, alright, let me zoom in here. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully I got it shut off right. But as you can see, there's effects going here. And in this, I can actually look above. And this will allow me to actually do not only vertical definition, but I also will do depth effects, where these pea stakes can look like waving carpets and all kinds of stuff. But that is my goal for 2024. It's roughly 5,000 pixels that I'll be adding. I'll be going from about 1300, 1400 up to 6500. But, you know, your first thing is thinking, if you're really ready for it, to go over to here. And I use like EFL designs. This is the matrix. It's a mini matrix that represents icicles to use above the top of the garage. Which you can see right there. You know, and those are going to be able to do some pretty cool things. Let's see if I can get something a little bit better. So, and the snowflakes and stuff. So I went over to EFL designs, and these are what I bought. They're a little pricey at $25, needing 10 sections, so that's 250. And this single icicles going across the top will take close to 4,000 pixels. So that's going to be one of my big additions. Um, Along the sides of the woods, the snowflakes along the right side over here. Let me see if I can zoom out on here. Okay, these snowflakes here, I'm hoping to have Boscoyo, Chroma Flake. I believe it's this one is what I was going to go with. For um, there's all different ones, but anyway, so I went there, found that one. This is the pixel sticks I was gonna get. It is actually from Lightorama. So, other than having to possibly deal with connector differences, these are the piece stakes I'm going with, or pixel stakes. As you can see here, it's 5 pixels and then 3 feet of wire, 5 pixels, 3 feet of wire, 5 pixels. Now, they are just standard pixels as the, um, the string does not go up, up the pixel. It doesn't go up the pixel back down. It goes in the bottom, out the top, in the bottom, out the top. So that's one compromise you're going to have to make. And you are going to have to buy some steak for it. But to get 40 steaks at 5 pixels a steak, so that's only 200 pixels, at $169. And now, of course, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to want to order some of the extensions, 10 foot, because these are lure connectors. I don't want to have to splice everywhere I need a space. I simply just don't want to have to do that. So I might have to put a different connector on the very beginning, but that's about it. But I want to be able to space it out each row because it's 4 strands of 50, right? So you get 200 pixels. But in each 4 strand, so in each of the strands you get 10 stakes. So I want to go 10 stakes a break, 10 stakes a break, 10 stakes a break. So if we go here, I want to do it in a way that I have one strand. It's only 400 pixels, so this can run off of one port. It's going to start here, go 10 pixels, extension, 10 pixels, extension, 10 pixels, and back and forth. And I want to do it on that angle because if you look at the coverage from straight ahead, it's not lined up, it's very random, but it has some pattern to it. Um, it's not going to look near that good on the yard because the yard is not level, as you will see in future videos. But I could do all that for a very minimal place. Now, I'm not going to show you how much it would be with shipping and blah blah blah, but this here is going to come to about $210 with tax where I live, and it's $20 to ship it. So for $440, I will get 80 pixel stakes, the plastic to clip them in, not having to do any soldering to add extensions, and just go with it. I'll have to do a little zip tying with some EMT, and I will have to do some power injecting halfway through, which is no big deal because I'll run a 12 volt, um, maybe like 5 amp power supply in its own little tiny waterproof box out there to the middle of the yard right where it is. And that's how I like to power inject when possible on littler things. So I'll have just a tiny, small power supply, um, 12 volt, 5 amp. You know, it's just something very little. I might even use something like this or like that, but I'll probably go with something more like this. Anyway, $12.99, and I'll put that in some kind of waterproof box. I don't care if it's a plastic Tupperware dish, one of the really, really good sealing ones, and you just put two cable glands for in and out. And then, right somewhere, right in here somewhere, I will put that. And I will run that to the beginning here. And that'll power the second half, which is 200 pixels. That power supply should be able to do the 200 pixels. Um, and at 200 pixels, I don't think I'll get much color fade. But even if I do, and I take that power supply and I put it here, and I run one part to this part, and I run another power line to here, I'll balance the whole thing. Or if I put it here, and I run one power here, one power here, or up here at the top. So since I have the power up here, I'll probably just put a power injection here, a power injection here, power injection here, and a power injection here. And I may just run off one of the extra pixels output that I have on the Falcon here at the tree. So right there. There's many ways to do it, as they say. So that's just what I wanted to get into and show you a little bit about. Stay tuned. I'm gonna try and post every week on a Sunday of what I did to get from the the simple layout, you know, to what I got to now. There it is. From this to what I just showed you. So stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe. Do whatever you're gonna do. Talk to you next time.